don't want to be talking away whilst none of you can hear me anyway. Heading back into the game. I'll just quickly show you the maps then, as you've all missed it. I don't know if you've heard me talking, but TaToH with the Mongols on a map with lots of deer and a very open map versus Arma with the Goths. So TaToH is likely going to be aiming for a very fast up time and a scout rush. So I expect he's going to be giving Arma a very tough time here. And TaToH has actually managed to click up to the feudal age with 14 villagers, only 15 population. But it seems he's not even doing scouts, he's doing towers, judging by the fact that he's going to going to stone with 3 villagers at the moment. That's interesting. I guess if I was playing this map, what I would have been doing was the obvious thing of using Mongols and using all the deer and trying to do scouts, but TaToH's not going to do what, to my mind, is the most obvious thing to do, and instead he's just going to do an insane trush with just clicking up to the feudal age at 524. I mean, he's going to have multiple towers up by about 9 minutes, which is just going to be insane. I played against TaToH in the balance of power, and he had 4 towers at 10 minutes 30, which was hard enough to deal with, but he wasn't clicking up this fast. I'm trying to see if Arma has spotted what's going on yet, but I don't think he has. But the uptime might tell him something. It could. It's not necessarily going to make him think trush straight away, because a Mongol could be going up that fast to do scouts anyway on this map with a lot of deer, but he's gonna know soon enough. TaToH doing the first tower quite far back to allow him to move in with the second tower, whilst being protected by the overlapping field of fire. And right now, Arma is just going to be thinking, what on earth do I do? Because I haven't even clicked up to the the feudal age at this point, and he's already pushing me with towers, and I'm not going to be able to counter tower for another 2 minutes. We also lost a villager on wood, and TaToH's just going to keep coming across the map with the towers. I'm not sure what's happened to Arma that he hasn't gone up, because he's got 650 food in the bank, and he's only on 22 population. So technically it was a 23 population Dark Age, which would normally have seen him being able to click up about 2 minutes ago. So, well, close to 2 minutes ago. So I'm not sure why he's didn't go up at like 8.5 minutes or something like that. I'm guessing he must have been distracted a little bit by TaToH's early feudal age and by him picking a villager off here and then the sudden appearance of these towers, but really he's just crippled his ability to react to this tower push with any of his own towers, if that was what he wanted to do, because he's just going to be so late up with his own towers. Looks like he's intending some kind of forward or flanking manoeuvre, sending 5 villagers forward to build this barracks. Given that he went on to gold early, he maybe have been thinking about archers, but right now he's being forced to do stone instead, just to counter TaToH's own trush. So it'll be interesting to see whether Arma maybe does a kind of mixed trush defense and offense. I'm guessing the tower is going to come up here and somewhere here to try and stop TaToH moving in with any more towers, but then he may add towers of his own in TaToH's base as well. Reaching the feudal age very shortly, so let's see what his move is as soon as that feudal age upgrade hits. Just to be careful that he doesn't show his villagers ahead of time and waste any surprise factor that he may have had. But no, it's an outpost, not a tower. TaToH still doesn't see this, but he will do now, surely. Yep. Arma seems to just want to raid the town centre. This is bizarre. He's just showing his villagers and not actually doing anything. And TaToH's just going to rush this. Just coming out with 9 villagers of his own, and he can afford to drop a tower at home if he wants. He can afford to drop 2 towers at home. Did lose a villager there for a trade of Arma's militia by the looks of it. But he's just going to drop a tower, he's going to drop a stable at home, and Arma's just kind of wasted the surprise factor that he could have used to his advantage, because TaToH didn't know he was here. I mean, if he'd gone up to the feudal age and done a tower or two, or done some production facilities and a bit of army, then he could have used it, but he just strayed into TaToH's line of sight and just showed him that he was here. Which is pretty disastrous. TaToH even taking all of Arma's deer at this point. And Arma's own tower is not going to last very long, and as soon as the villagers pop out, they're going to be at risk from the scout that's there. And the tower, of course, so at this point, once again, it looks like it's a fast GG going to be occurring. Just don't see how Arma is going to overturn an 8 villager deficit at this stage of the game. Throwing up more towers in defence and some walls at least, which will keep him alive for a little bit longer. And these scouts for TaToH won't be able to do any damage, immediate damage, but they will once again confine Arma to a small area of the map. This is something we've seen quite a lot in this series, where Arma just doesn't have the ability to spread his economy onto his resources correctly, because TaToH is just controlling the area. The towers all with army, and even Arma's even going to have difficulty getting villagers out of his town centre and then adding them to the wood line, or adding them to the stone, or adding them to the gold, because TaToH's just there with his army and is there with towers. So I'm just taking a drink again because my throat's getting a bit sore. Seems like TaToH's plan is to just completely encircle the resources of Arma. The problem with defending against a tower pusher with your own towers is that you have to place your towers very intelligently to ensure that the other guy can't just put up another tower in a slightly different position that just attacks from a slightly different angle out of range of your original tower. Like, this sort of situation, you need a tower on both sides just to deny the other guy from towering your gold. And even then, like, even if you had a tower like here and here, but you had some villagers collecting here, a tower could come up over here. You do need a number of towers that are placed intelligently to defend against a tower offense with your own towers. Seems though that TaToH must have idled his TC for a little bit, because the villager deficit did momentarily reduce to 6, although I guess TaToH may have lost 1 or 2 villagers whilst trying to tower this area. I wasn't paying such close attention for a little while whilst I was just having a drink and giving my throat a little bit of a rest. I think this tower is quite ambitious, but I guess Arma must not have been building that one at the time. TaToH, I think, overextending a little bit there with those villagers. He didn't need to give everything to try and get that tower up. He could have just rebuilt another one just a couple of tiles back if he really wanted to deny this wood line, and that means that for the moment TaToH won't be able to add any more towers over here. Nonetheless, I don't think he's going to be too disheartened by that. His economy is looking in much better shape than Arma's. I mean, Arma does have a lot of gold, but he's not actually making any use of that, and he has almost no food and very little wood with inefficient wood lines. And TaToH's still got a village over here. I didn't spot that. He's at risk of losing it, but he's going to wall it in and try and do another tower, and that is really going to be annoying because it's going to mean that Arma, whilst having very little wood and a very inefficient wood line over here, is going to lose access to this wood as well and can't even take this wood line. But Arma's trying some sneaky archery ranges over in the north, but TaToH's aware of it. His scouts are there and a spearman, and all of those villagers are probably going to die to those scouts. This tower in the bottom did go up, so that's going to significantly disrupt the wood income of Arma for now. I'm not sure if Arma garrisoned this tower, he could take it down, but I think TaToH is probably just built. No, they are hitting each other, so they are in range. But Arma's not going to do that. He's just going to go and build another lumber camp somewhere else. But that's just another 100 wood, which at a point where he can barely afford it. This archery range is being walled up, so that's another waste of 175 wood when he was running dry and wood. And TaToH's clicked up as I expected he would do. He's had a nice farming economy for quite a long time. I mean, even for all his farms nicely placed close to the mill, and he stole the deer of Arma so that he was always going to be in a position to clear up the castle age so much earlier. He's going for scale barding armor right now and bloodlines, so he could be thinking about light cavalry, or he could just be thinking about producing knights from a couple of stables to end the game quickly. +2 knights are just going to be absolutely wrecking the economy of Arma. I mean, they can just run around under towers and take fire from towers quite easily. I mean, a tower full of 5 villages will do decent damage, but you know, the amount of damage they can do, whether actually killing the villagers or forcing them to idle and flee, it's enormous. Arma has clicked up, but I just don't know what he's going to be able to do. He's not mining much gold anymore, and now all of a sudden he's overcorrected his wood problem. He didn't have next to no wood in the bank. Now he's got too much wood and nothing else. He's not got the farms to sustain night production or anything like that, and he's not got the gold income. I just don't know what he's intending to do with the castle age once he gets there. And the knights are starting to come out for TaToH now, killing villagers already. And you know, even if you put 5 villagers in a tower, like, the knights can happily just run around underneath and kill the ones that can't fit in the tower. It's just forcing Arma to do tower after tower, just try and keep a few villages working, and even then they'll just idle all the time because they're either in the towers or building new ones. I mean, TaToH can just put a knight under like every tower and idle the entire eco of Arma at once. And the villager difference is gigantic now. 14 villages. It's almost half as many villagers again. Arma needs some kind of miracle play now, some miracle big play that's his last roll of the dice, but I don't think he's got anything up his sleeve. It really does seem to be trying make eco and get back into the game, but TaToH's eco is already so much better. He can just continue to maintain an economy lead whilst adding army. Monastery is a reasonable reaction, but at the moment Arma isn't mining gold, so monks from one monastery, whilst TaToH has a lot of knights already and continues to make more, won't really actually mean that monks are an effective counter to TaToH's knight raiding in this situation. More and more villagers going down for Arma. 20 villagers behind. Arma's now saying you watch stream. Yes, a lot. Yep, TaToH's saying my scout is there all along. One monk braving it against half a dozen knights. And going down. At least he did force TaToH to delete a knight for his efforts, but TaToH won't mind that, because if he loses one knight, he's still got a lot of knights. But if Arma loses a monk, he's got no monks at this point. As I said, one monastery and no gold in the bank. You can't really do a monk defensive alliance like that. Sooner or later, Arma's going to be forced to delete this town centre, because those knights can knock that TC foundation down in probably another 30-45 seconds. Handcart as well for TaToH, whose economy is going to be amazing to just continue producing knights. It's not... At 19 knights is not a million miles away from the number of knights where you can just run down and just batter down a TC and not care about the arrow fire. In fact, if he has all the upgrades as I think he does, then he could more or less, well, plus 2 attack missing, but he can pretty much do that anyway. Especially this one, there's going to be so few villages actually in the town centre, he could just run in and batter it down if he wanted to. But I think he's just going to enjoy the fact that he's winning 4-0 and just go for a bigger number of knights. Or just try and clinch the game in style, clinch the series and indeed the tournament in style. Going for castle drop actually. That's really kicking up an opponent when he's down. He's already losing badly in this game and he's just going to throw up a castle right in his face, drop his right on top of the guy's new TC. And as I said, these knights can easily take down town centre now. He's going to run in and destroy this town centre, and a loss of only probably 3 knights or something like that. Not even 3 in the end. In the end, that castle achieves nothing, since TaToH knocked the town centre down before the castle was even built. I'm not sure if Arma is just wanting to see if he can force TaToH to actually defeat him. These villages are puzzling, but I guess when your home's under siege, you may as well visit your enemy a visit. It's probably the only place on the map that TaToH doesn't have knights right now. I know they all this tower. That's. It's finally calling the GG. Means I can stop talking and rest my throat. Alright, well that means that TaToH is the champion of the Master of Anniversary tournament. He's in so many tournaments at the moment and he's doing very well in many of them. But oh, hang on, my game's just locked up because of clicking on that message from the game room. But yeah, it's nice to see that the anniversary map pack being showcased in this way with a tournament. TaToH's a fitting winner for it, since he plays on so many crazy maps and does so many improvised things on different maps anyway. It's a shame that this final series we only saw 3 different maps across the 5 games, because 2 maps were repeated. But yeah, a very nice tournament on the whole, with fun settings, as TaToH says. It's always nice when players can say they really enjoyed the settings of a tournament when it was something different, something out of the norm. I guess I'll show the achievements for the final game, although we'll just see that TaToH collected more of everything and killed more of everything and had more villagers.